course, everybody, I'm sure you know, I'm Alan Hill. I'm running for the sheriff in Glenn County. I'm going to start real quick. I'm not Kent. I'm not responsible for anything that goes on with the sheriff's office. I've been there 17 years. I worked every division there. I'm sorry. 17 years I worked every division there. Patrol, CID, patrol supervisor, narcotics. I went to Afghanistan with the State Department for 2 years as a police liaison officer. My last year I was the regional supervisor for the southern region of Afghanistan. Had about 100 employees that reported to me directly or indirectly. I have a different form of leadership. I lead from the front. I don't sit back with my feet on the desk. I have to be out with my guys to know what's going on. When I was in Afghanistan, even the sheriff's office, people come in with complaints. If you're not out there, you don't know. I would go to the field with my guys. I'd spend a week or two with them. My wife would get mad because she couldn't find me on the phone. I didn't have phone service. It was uncommon for someone that had my position to show up in the field out the box. But that's how I knew what was going on. I saw what was going on. There are some issues at the sheriff's office. Things are not fair in a lot of ways. It's a good old boy system. Not going to be that way to me. The hiring procedure, I'll have nothing to do with it. I'm going to set a testing procedure where you go through steps, whoever makes it to my desk, I hire. I don't care if you're my friend or worst enemy, you make it to my desk, I'm going to hire you. It's one way you can be fair. Promotion's the same way. I treat no one different. You know, I work for the FBI now for about the last 7 months as far as the Federal Gangs Task Force. You know, everybody's read the paper about my background. Yeah, I used drugs when I was a kid, and I sure did. It gives me a unique perspective on what I do now. These people in our community that are using these drugs, that's your family, that's your neighbor, that's your brother, that's your sister. We're not educating our kids, and we're not putting enough resources to stop them this. And everybody says, well, lock them away. There's a group of them you can. Where are you going to put them? Judge White and Judge Bryan have a wonderful court system, the drug court. It helps a lot of people, some it can't. Every person we can save and put back to being a productive part of our society is key. We put them in prison, it costs us money. We get them back out, get them on the road doing right, it helps. My abilities as a police officer and a leader speak for themselves. If you follow the media for the last 3.5 years with one officer at my disposal on exchange 3 different times because we don't pay anything, we've taken out more meth labs than the DPS Narcotics Task Force did their entire time of operation in our county where they were disbanded by the government. Look it up, that's fact. With one officer, I did it. Imagine what I can do with the sheriff's office. You hear a lot about the budget. The sheriff's office has a $7.4 million budget. $5.6 million of this budget is labor and benefits, period. That runs the sheriff down to about 1.8. There's almost $1 million in employee housing and medical. Now you're back down to right around $1 million. You pay utilities, fix your buildings, fuel your cars, about $200,000 in fuel alone. I believe there's too many take-home cars at the sheriff's office. You can cut some costs there, but that's not going to be enough because gas is going up. We see a lot of property and assets through narcotics in the sheriff's office. We just purchased 6 new Tahoes through the Narcotics Seizure funds. And I operate strictly out of Narcotics Seizure fund. What I seize is what I operate off of. If I don't generate money, I don't operate. Because the taxpayer doesn't pay for what I do. They pay my salary and my fuel, that's it. And they don't even do that anymore. The FBI gives me a right. The county pays my salary, that's all. These 6 Tahoes we bought, that's pretty much all you have on the options. You got a few more. It was funded through that. The taxpayers didn't pay for it. I want to buy some more CID vehicles and replace the fleet we have now. They're pushing Crown Vic factor at 170,000, 180,000 miles on them, 14, 15,000 miles, 15 miles per gallon, and they have a lot of maintenance issues. You can get some decent economy cars. CID doesn't be in a hurry to go anywhere. Let's get 30, 35 miles a gallon and cut your fuel budget there in half. I spoke with William George and the executives out at William George. We can cut fuel inmate meal costs for about 50 cents a day, 40, 45 cents a day. On 200 average count, that's about $30,000 to $35,000 a year. We can go further by Give him a sack lunch 2 days a week, or 2 times a day. They're required one hot meal a day. I really don't care what you eat in that jail. It's not me. I'm not teaching steaks. You eat what I have to give you. That'll cut it even further and also allow me not to use water to wash the dishes, fuel to cook, natural gas to cook. There's many ways to save money. There are morale issues at the sheriff's office. People leave. You know, like I say, I don't have anything to do. I can't control it, but I will. Everything will be fair and across the board for everybody. Anybody ever ask me a question, I answer it. I don't lie to you. You may not like my answer, but I'll tell you the way it is. There's issues there with the morale because people aren't treated fairly. You know, this guy gets promoted over this guy. This guy's hired. You walk in, there's half a dozen guys sitting here waiting to get a job when I already know who's getting hired. That's not fair. The Attorney General's investigation. Let me clear some things up real quick. That was called in by 3 individuals. The sheriff fired, by the way. Written in, they come in. They're currently looking at 1 deputy who may or may not have done anything wrong. Has nothing to do with the sheriff. You run 104 employees, I guarantee you, somebody is going to do something wrong. I've urged the sheriff on many occasions, call Lufkin daily. Call them, hey, this is what's going on. You have the right to know your public. I'm not worried about it. It's your boss, it's your office. I'm going to tell people what's going on in my office because it's your office, not mine. I'm just a custodian of it. And I spoke to one of the investigators the other day while he was up there. We do not believe it's anything criminal, but the sheriff's waiting on their recommendation as to what he does. And then the public will know. The losing of property. Mr. Ellsworth worked a lot. We didn't lose anything. What happened was during the raid, a bunch of property was stolen, written on search warrant. The supervisor, who's responsible for documenting this stuff, got a new job at Harris County during this time frame. He left. Didn't make a supplement for it, didn't do the proper forms. Not the sheriff's fault. He had no idea. 9 years later, Mr. Burklock files a complaint. Hey, you lost my property. We look it up. I get some phone calls. Hey, this is where it is. We look back. We found all 2 items right now. It was all stolen and all returned to the owners. But the person who was responsible did not document it because he was leaving. Didn't care. How am I? Nothing's going to happen. But it falls back on the sheriff as being incompetent because somebody didn't care less. Nothing he can do. I'm telling you, you run this many people, things are going to happen. I told the sheriff, this come up. Call the media. Tell them what's going on. I'm not worried about it. When you leave things out like that, to spread the rumors, it spreads here, it spreads there, and that's what becomes. It becomes a bunch of rumors and lies, and people use it as poke sticks. The sheriff has his flaws, but he's been a really good man. His flaws is he's too nice. If that's the worst thing you can say about somebody, guys, that's not really anything bad at all. You know, I don't like the good old boy part of it. He does not have the heart to fire somebody when they need to be fired. My position that is, you violate one of my policies, I'm going to write you up or do what it says. You come to my desk for being fired, I'm going to fire you. You shouldn't be mad at me for firing you. I'm mad at you for putting yourself in that position, for being in that position of having to do it. I fired a lot of people. It's not a fun thing to do. The county is business. It's not a place to go hang your hat. Our salaries are low. People come here to retire, hang out, and put their feet up, whatever. The county pays $937 a month per employee for health care. That is ludicrous. The city of Zavalla told me they pay like $330 a month for health. I spoke with Mr. Cooper. There's got to be ways we can drive this cost down. It's going up, according to Scott Cooper, it's going to go up again. We need to look down the road, or where we're going to approach our finances and how we're going to manage this stuff, because fuel's fixing to go up. God knows how much the sheriff had an increase in fuel budget in years. He had to move $70,000 out of another account to cover it last year. He asked for it, he don't get it. We can save a lot of money. We can generate money. We brought in $300-something thousand last year on federal inmates. The phone system makes money, but we have to cut where we can and save where we can. My big push is narcotics. That's 80% of your crime. People steal to get dope. They break into your house. They're trying to get drugs. By realigning the personnel, not asking anybody anything, I'm going to get rid of a position in the jail, an admin position. I'm going to make that a deputy. I'll save $7,000, $8,000. and I'm gonna put that person as dare officer in our school. I'm gonna trim some fat in their people I don't think are doing anything. I've been there a long time. I know who works, I know who don't. And I'm gonna move them to the narcotics division, and one, possibly two of them are gonna be stationed pretty much in the southern region of the county to do something about your problem. You have a problem down here, guys. And it's only gonna get worse. The gangs are coming as we push the red phosphorus labs out and choke off the ephedrine. You see all the federal cases, we file a lot of them, trying to choke off the ephedrine because that's the one thing they need to make a methamphetamine with. The cartels, MS-13, Texas Syndicate, Mexican Mafia, and Tango Blast are operating in our county. I'm sorry, they're here. Stick your head in the sand tonight, wherever they're here. They're starting to push a lot of ice in. It's just a different form of meth. How we're going to deal with these cartels, that's another issue. That's what we're working with down at the FBI and the gang task force is trying to work out a strategy to combat these guys. So personnel is a big thing. Coming to the taxpayer and asking for more money is not something I want to do. How are we going to get the deputies raised? I spoke to Mr. Cooper. I believe in carrying my own weight. I do that in narcotics. I generate far more money than I've earned, of course, my salary. I want the deputies out here working. I don't want them sitting around the office. You know, you come in here, I want you in the school zone. You get a ticket going through a school zone, you don't have a drive. You get an EWI, you don't have a drive, driver's license. Public safety issues, not a speed trap, but I want the deputies out here working. When you work, you're going to generate revenue. It's not going to fall back on everyday taxpayer to shell out our pockets to try to get the pay up. Because you raise the salary of the sheriff's office $1 a person, you're talking several $100,000 of revenue. And that's where it's going to come from. It's going to earn it. You know, I spoke to Mr. Cooper there. If we earn it, and we can justify it, they'll get it. You get your salaries up, you keep your people. The biggest complaint in the sheriff's office, I've lost 2 guys out of narcotics. Rusty Allen went to Narcotics for Jason Bridges, doing a good job. Rusty Pitts left, went to DPS, loved his job, hated the money. You walk in the door at Lufkin PD your first day on the job out of the academy and make more than me, a 17-year sergeant in the sheriff's office. Where's the incentive to stay? It's not. And I'm not a fool. I've led a lot of people in my life. You're running this many people, there's going to be problems. No matter what you do, you're going to have employees that's going to steal. That's going to do things. It happens. You know, the sheriff fired 2 or 3 out of jail in the last month for just different reasons. You're going to have issues with the board. How you deal with them and the rumors that come from the allegations that people make against you is going to define you. There'll be no secrets in my office. I'm open up front about everything, guys. You want to throw something at me, I'll tell you. You make a complaint against my office, first thing I'm going to do, call me. If I'm being investigated, the public's going to know about it. My employees being investigated, the public's going to know. You got to be your office, not mine. But if you work at the sheriff's office, DPS and the sheriff's office are 2 totally separate entities. They're nothing alike. Well, all Texas police officers, but their jobs are just way apart. If you do not know what's going on, you yourself will be led. You'll be manipulated and led by those who do. I'm not going to have to look for people to come in and tell me what to do. I know what to do. I know what needs to be fixed, and I'm going to fix it. My administration will get done what I want to get done. I go out and I work. I find out what the problems are. I come back, tell my administration to fix it. If you have to sit in that office 40 hours a week to administrate, something's wrong. There's not that many people come up to see the sheriff. 3 or 4 or 5 a day, maybe 3 or 4 a day. The rest of the time, you're just sitting around. Budget doesn't take that long. A couple hours, you got to take care of it. A lot of meetings and things like that you have to make. But if I'm not busy doing administrative stuff, I'm back here with my guys. I work probably 60 hours a week now, and I get paid for 40. My wife gets on me all the time. I go out at night, they call me, I get up. There's no money to pay me. I turn in for comp time, I can't ever take it off. It's a calling to me, not a job. Protecting our community from what it faces today is why I'm running. You know, Sheriff asked me to run, I thought he lost his mind at first. We talked a while, I'll do it. After I talked to my wife. But that's about all I got, guys. Questions for me? Go ahead, Dave.
But how devastating is the meth problem in Angelina County? Is it what, 40% of the crime or 60, 80?
Just the meth by itself or drugs altogether? Because you're talking about meth, coke, MS, you know, the bath salts and all things our children are facing. We're not telling our kids. We're not educated. They're making undereducated decisions like I did. We've got to protect them. 80% is the statistic.
That just, what about, is that responsible for burglaries and things like that too?
80%. Oh, burglaries too. I mean, honestly, 95, maybe more. Every person we catch breaking into something is getting money for drugs. Be it coke, meth, marijuana, it doesn't matter. They don't have a job. They're trying to get money. And one problem with felonizing, I try not to never make a felonize anybody on the first guy. I work with DA and him a lot and say, oh, look, I screwed up. You know, I got a lab off of him. He's never done anything wrong. If we felonize him, he's done for life. He can never get back, can't get a job out of meth. Could tell me, Alan, look, you know, you give me a job, find me a way to work. I won't cook dope. Nobody will hire me. I'm a third. I've cooked dope my whole life. When I get out of prison, I'm going to cook dope again. See when you get out. You know, and that's the way it is. Any more? Go ahead.
Well, you know, when you quoted that you said that you're not arrested for who do drugs, you're not arrested for who cook and sell drugs. Can you just kind of elaborate that for me?
Our deal is, you fail a drug test, it's not against the law. So you're using drugs, it's not against the law. So it's illegal to possess it. If you had any idea, I have 2 officers to go out here and look for every user that may or may not have a little drug on them is preposterous. If I had a 50-man squad, I couldn't do that. We concentrate on the dealers and the suppliers, so that's where it comes from. Now, we stumble across a lot of users that have it. If they have it, we arrest them. But I'm not just simply looking for the average user. I'm trying to curtail the problem. If you're going to the dealer, you'll find the user when they show up. If they possess it, we'll arrest them. If they don't, they're on the road. Go ahead.
Did you ever at any point in time try to hide your drug use from when you were
I've told everybody all along. And here's the thing, the State Department investigated me, the FBI investigated me. Guess who I still work for right now to this day? The FBI. You know, there was a big joke. I went down there, yeah, there's a dope dealer. Yeah, right on. Anybody else? One more. I got one more. Two. Go ahead.
Do you have a master peace officer's license?
I have an advanced.
Yeah.
I'm about a year shy of a master's. And a peace officer's license, you can have a master peace officer's license in 8 years if you have enough credits. It's time plus credits. You know, to get one strictly on time is like 20-something years. And but you can get them in a lot less. It's a formula they have. Last one, go ahead.
You said that you help people that want to get off drugs and things. I was eyewitness to a boy that was trying to do right. I pulled him over and wanted him to go in and us or maybe 3 people were sitting right back in, and I was in one of your offices when they called you, and yes, y'all were sending him back in, and if not, you were going to put a lab that was in your office open and this was music 3 days.
That is a lie.
No, it's not.
You want to be? I have never said that. You are a liar, ma'am. Plain and simple.
Amen.
Let me tell you something. You want to sit here and say I said that? You're a bald-faced liar. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Go ahead, one more, ma'am. Hey, Margie, I didn't recognize you. I'm sorry.
That's all right, darling. Out of the arrests, drug arrests that you've done over the years, how many, on average, have you rearrested many occasions, many times, the same person over and over and over again?
About 90%.
Percentage rate, that's what I'm talking about. So they go in, they get out, they come back, you rebus, put them back, rebus, put them back. And okay, how many times is it that, you know?
That's why we started targeting federally. I started, you know, my time's been pulled away a lot in the federal system to hit them with the veteran laws, because the federal courts carry real stiff penalties with no probation. You know, the minimum I'm getting on them is 5 years to do.
That's hard to get.
It's hard to get state. You get 10 years of state penitentiary, you're out about 18 months.
So it's basically repeat.
Repeat.